Okay, so here is page 14 in the packet. This is lesson A-5. So evaluating a limit by algebraic manipulation. And we'll be doing this for a couple lessons. But, okay, so whenever you're evaluating a limit, the very first step, if x is approaching a number, is to try direct substitution. So this would be equal to 16 plus 12 minus 4 over 0. Okay, so already I know that direct substitution is not going to work. So as soon as you know you've got 0 on the bottom, direct substitution is not going to work. But if direct substitution gives 0 on the top as well, then that's a clue that we could do algebraic manipulation to make something cancel that would allow us to direct substitute. Okay, so if the top is also 0, then that tells us that we want to do algebraic manipulation. So, and we get 0 over 0. All right, so guys, I'm just gonna like lightly cross this out over here because the goal is not really to have this like within, I don't know, it doesn't look very nice. If you could like see in your head if it's 0 over 0 or just like off to the side somehow convince yourself, then you don't ever have to like write that. But I'm gonna keep writing it and crossing it off just for this lesson. Okay, so as soon as you know direct substitution isn't gonna work, you open up, so below this limit, I'll go equals, and then I will open up another limit. I'll open up a blank limit. And what I want to do is try to factor or do any kind of like simplifying on this. And then I can transfer it down every time. So the top will factor, and it's x plus 4, x minus 1 over x plus 4. And now you could see like the secret factor on top that was making the top be 0 was this factor. And that's the same factor on the bottom that was giving us the problem. So those end up canceling. And then you have to keep writing the limit. I'll show you when. It's not until we direct substitute that we could drop it. So this becomes this. And now this is a situation where I could just plug the negative 4 in and I'll have no trouble. So in for x. So negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. Okay, now this next one. So you try direct substitution, like in your head, you could even do it. Like once you know the bottom is 0, then, then you just got to see if the top is also 0. So that'd be 5 squared minus 25. Yeah. Okay, so 0 over 0, check. And so now I'm going to go equals the limit as x approaches 0. And I'm going to open up a blank limit. Now, guys, you can handle this differently. Okay, there's really nothing to do on the bottom. That's still 2x. But on the top, you could, if you wanted to, you could expand this out and then combine like terms and then factor. Or you could recognize, so I'm going to do a little aside. So this is not like part of my work. This is like just like some stuff on the side that I'm testing. Okay, so this top, 5 plus x squared minus 25, is the same as that. All right, that is a difference of 2 squares. So I'm just going to follow through on this, and then I'm going to just put it back in for the top. So I'm just working with the top over here. All right, so this is a difference of 2 squares. So this is going to be a plus b, a minus b. So 5 plus x plus 5, 5 plus x minus 5. okay? And then this ends up being x plus 10, and then that ends up being just x. Okay, so all of this stuff, that's not really part of my work, or my, presentation. So this is what's going to go back in for the top. I'll put the x in front. Okay, and then these are canceling. Limit as x approaches 0. So this is x plus 10 over 2. All right, and now we can direct substitute. So that's 10 over 2 is 5. Okay. Yeah. Next. Okay, so this one. So if you plug in 5, all right, the bottom is clearly 0 and also the top. Okay, so we're 0 over 0. Check. And let me get a single fraction on the top. So the LCD would be 5x. So I'll multiply by x there and by 5 there. And then I'll get started. Okay. All right, so in the top, 15 minus 3x, 5x. And then this is 2x minus 10. All right, and I'm going to do keep, change, flip. And I want things to cancel. And we're going to have to factor eventually, and I already see that I could take out a negative 3 from up here and a 2 from down there. So I'm just going to do that. So negative 3 x minus 5x. Okay, and I put that over 1 because I'm going to do keep, change, flip. Okay, so now guys, if you're ever going to do an aside, make sure that you have a blank limit set up so that you don't forget that you need to write that limit, okay? So I have this blank limit set up, and just to avoid having to write more limit lines, I'm just going to do an aside and simplify this a little bit, and then I'll go back into my limit lines. All right, so I'm doing keep, change, flip. So this is negative 3 times over 2. Okay, so those are ending up canceling. So we get negative 3 over 10x. All right, now if you do an aside, whatever you get at the end of that aside needs to go back in the blank limit. Okay, even if you just got a number, that number would have to go back in the blank limit before we would state the final answer, which we'd get by direct substituting. Okay, so this goes here. All right, and now we can direct substitute. So this is negative 3 over 50. Okay, one more. Okay, so it is 0 over 0. Okay, I'll just say it. If you plug 3 in the top, you're going to get 0, same as the bottom. All right. Okay, so equals. So I'm going to want to factor. All right, so from the top, I can take out. Okay, and then in the bottom, this x minus 6 is a GCF. Like if you're looking at this as a term and that as a term, they both have x minus 6. So this is like factor by grouping basically, with like the first couple steps already done for you. So that ends up being x minus 6, x squared minus 9, or vice versa. If you put x squared minus 9 first, obviously that's fine. Equals the limit x approaches 3. All right, I'm continuing to factor. And And then this is x minus 3, x plus 1. Okay, and then those x minus 3's are canceling. Limit as x approaches 3, 3x, x plus 1, 6, x plus 3. Okay, and I'm going to plug, so now I'm going to do direct substitution. So I'm going to end up getting, so I got 9 times 4 over negative and 6. And okay, so we don't really want to rely on a calculator, guys. So I'm just gonna like reduce here. So this is negative 1, that's 3, that's 2, that's 3, and then those 3's cancel. Okay, yeah, so negative 2. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's why we practiced all of that algebra so much last year. And if you are rusty or you even feel like I never learned that, you did. I promise you that you did. And it won't take long to get back. And if you need help, just let me know and we could, we could fix that. Okay.